Well, good evening, Minnesota Liberty lovers, and welcome to Minnesota Liberty. I am one of your co hosts, TJ Hawthorne, and with me, as usual, is Joey and Charlie. So
Hello,
we
Internet.
have, hey there, we have, um, I think it's been a couple weeks since we've been on, but not that long, or was it just, yeah, it's
Was it
been a
2 weeks?
couple weeks.
2 weeks ago? Yeah, we took
We went over
Christmas
the
off, and
holidays, we
yeah,
did. So it seemed funny when I was updating the title that we were talking about a little bit of an eruption of the ice presence that's happened in Minnesota. And no, we're not talking about the northern cold ice. It's immigration
and custom.
enforcement. So yeah, they're enforcing to get. This is what I voted for. Is what a lot of these folks are talking about, not myself included, but and there was a bit of a standoff between, I guess, some protesters that were said to be blocking roads or whatnot. The lady was in her car, and oh yeah, she refused the lawful command of the officer, of the federal agent. I'm so tired of these words that people are using to justify these assholes in our streets. I probably shouldn't have swore in the first couple minutes,
you can
but
swear. That's fine.
yeah, it's
It's
really
unreal.
it's creating quite a divide. I mean, I think it's that's the purpose. I really do believe that the purpose is to create this divide in us. And so, what are you guys' thoughts? I'm talking so much. Oh, we lost Charlie.
Uh, you try to get him back. I find the whole thing very disheartening. I don't want this. I've been one of those people who's I won't say I'll say I've been one of those people who's more hesitant to promote open borders policy on the basis that I don't think open borders and a welfare state are compatible with one another. And
For sure.
if the government is going to be monopolizing control over our nation's borders, then it ought to be doing so with the welfare of the people that it governs in mind at the very least. And this obviously isn't that. Letting whoever in and then gunning them down or gunning down random people who aren't even the immigrants in American city streets is not appropriate or moral or humane or ethical.
I
Right.
just I don't understand the perspective. Like, if you watch this video, I've watched it I don't know how many times, and it makes me sick every time I watch it. Um, the leading up to just the first part of the video that I've witnessed is this person waving ice vehicles through past her. I don't know if you guys have seen that part of the video.
So,
Windows open, and it looks like she waved a vehicle through, a vehicle passed in front of her vehicle, and then the second ICE vehicle stopped, and agents got out and basically started verbally commanding her to get out of the vehicle. And then an agent approaches the front door and physically reaches inside her vehicle and tries to open the handle, basically forcefully gaining entry into her vehicle. I don't know about you, but to me, like, if I had somebody doing that, my instinct is to go away too, right? My instinct is I want to get out of this situation, and with somebody at my window, directly at my side, trying to gain entry into my vehicle, and somebody else walking around the complete opposite side of my vehicle towards the front, and I put my vehicle in drive, I'm not worried. I'm not paying attention to somebody that drifted around the front of my vehicle. This is just my perspective. The way I saw it, she tried to flee, tried to go away. Um, it's a horrible situation, heartbreaking situation all the way around.
no
I
doubt.
don't think I don't think this agent acted with it with there's no discipline there.
No.
There's no discipline. And I can't condone those actions. There's absolutely no reason for you to draw a weapon at that point.
Yeah, and so the comment on the video I have is that I have ready to be shared, but it is just really it's a slow motion of the moment. But Daryl Cooper shared it, and when he made this comment of the guy's right at her window, with his arm in there. She's
His
looking
arms
at
inside,
this guy.
windows
She's
open.
totally focused on this guy. Like, I just want to get away. What are you doing here? And there's a guy on the front of her hood, and that's the guy that shoots her. So,
and like even I'm assuming he saw her put the car in drive. If I remember correctly, and I didn't get this timestamp, but I think he started drawing his weapon before her vehicle even started moving. So he probably saw that she was intending to, like, turning the steering wheel to drive away.
Yeah.
At that point, why would you you've got plenty of time to step out of the way.
Yeah, any fear of bodily harm that he had was a direct result of stepping in front of a vehicle he knew was about to be in motion.
No shit. Right. That's the other part. They talk about games or FAFO. It's like, so the monopoly on violence, they can F around, but they never get to find out. Rarely. I mean, it's not very
if you're a trained federal agent that is trained to be in stressful situations and your first instinct is to draw your weapon, you should not be a federal agent. I'm sorry. Like, she's not, I don't know anything about her, number one, but I would assume she's not trained to be in that type of situation.
No.
That's just an assumption on my part. And I'll claim ignorance of her background at this point in time. So,
well, and a lot of Minnesotans are pissed off at the people that go out and block the streets and do all the dumbassery as well. And I'm not a fan of that crap. I think it's really dumb, and especially if they're destroying other people's property. But just impeding somebody's right to, route to work and all that. It's just, and I guess, hey, man. You know what I always think about it when this stuff is happening right now here is, the federal police in Russia and in Soviet Union and shit, where they're just out there with no rules. And who is my wife asked this question when we were watching it on the news, like, well, who's got the jurisdiction there? The FBI and the BCA? And I guess that's a great question on how does this get prosecuted, as far as I'm concerned, because I think it's a murder. But however the law is going to decide, they just say, oh, it's justified, and move on. I don't know.
Unfortunately, I think that is what's going to happen. They're going to say the officer was in fear for his life, fear of serious bodily harm of the woman's vehicle that was about to run him over, because he moved in front of it, knowing that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I'm gonna say, like, just being in Minnesota is crazy right now. It's absolutely insane. We're in the news every single day. Every single day, there's something happening, and nobody has any idea of how to gain control. Nobody has any clue on what it looks like 5 years from now. It's scary. It's absolutely scary.
I concur.
Oh shoot, are we paying attention to chat? I'm sorry, folks. I have not.
Oh, I have not been. I totally forgot about that too. Where is that?
So who's our chat monitor?
I don't even know how to pull up chat.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Look at all that. It's very active.
We got people on.
Andrew.
My goodness.
So
Yeah,
sorry.
okay, yeah, no, I think she was trying to flee. She was trying to get out of a situation. If I would imagine, I'm guessing she probably blocked them at some point, but then backed up, and I saw her waving ICE vehicles through, saying go ahead, go ahead. But then they stopped and confronted her and tried to pull her out, and I just
Yeah.
this dude, you're federal agents, and at this point I'm like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't have federal agents. That's
Oh well.
if this is the
On a
way you're gonna
similar note,
act.
yeah, I was
I
just
mean,
on a show
I
called Meet the Fed Haters. I'm part of a Fed Haters group in this Good Morning
yeah, I
Business.
can't imagine
I'm
that we're going to condone this type of behavior. And if this is the level of professionalism that we're going to encounter, well, I mean, be prepared.
yeah. Well, I think we can move on, and you kind of touched on it as far as Minnesota here going down the tubes.
Yeah.
Since we last talked, there's been quite a revelation about the daycare fraud and the autism center fraud and the adult daycare. And this Nick Shirley kid comes out with some viral posts, viral videos, and there's a lot of naysayers as far as his legitimate reporting. Hey, he showed up at this daycare that the hours were 2 to 10. Well, I think that's kind of weird that there's a daycare it's 2 to 10. Hey, I'm not here to tell you when your business hours need to be, but I'm probably sure that it is probably written down somewhere in the state literature of when you're supposed to get these benefits. So then the thing is that, oh, hey, there's not supposed to be any people there, and then the next day, all of a sudden, somebody else is recording over there, and they're busting in a bunch of kids during the day. And then what is up here and there? Then what's the next? Oh, there was a break-in in the one Nokomis daycare center, and all they did was steal documents. That's not effing fishy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is I'm not a fan of saying it's all Somali. I think that's ridiculous and ignorant to blame it on a group, right? This is just like any collectivist BS, right? To blame it on any one group is ridiculous. And then hey, this is what ICE is here for, is to take these. No, I bet you a lot of them folks are here legally. I'm assuming, but who knows? It was Tom.
Yeah, they are. I mean, that's been since the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Since mid 90s, when Somalia went through they're still going through upheaval, still a failed state, and we absolutely said, hey, come over, we'll help you get your feet on the ground, but it's not okay to demonize a whole group of people because things have happened. Now, I will say that the programs were not put in place. I think they were probably heartfelt, wanting to help people get out of a situation and wanting to help prop people up. But we got to a point where we don't have any bleeding heart, right? We'll call it bleeding heart.
Well, come on, every program is put in place with good intentions, right?
I agree. But for 30 years, we haven't figured it out, right? And to the level that it's been taken advantage of over the past 5 years is absolutely crazy, right? When we start seeing funds just matriculating away from our state and not doing anything about it is absolutely incredible. I mean, how can you sit there and say, oh, we're gonna try and balance a budget without seeing this massive amount of money being pushed away from our state? and then having an $18 billion surplus 3 years ago and saying, oh, well, I don't know where it went. Like, this is,
Well, I don't know. I've been hearing
it's incompetence at the highest order.
and I think some folks have been pointing it out, right? And then, but if you have attorney general that is either in cahoots with it or whatever, right? And this is what I've kind of learned as I've gotten into this political BS stuff, is the power that some of these folks have is whether or not it's heard, whether or not they're prosecuted, you know what I mean? Whether or not this bill is heard, or whether or not these people are heard in this committee, you know, that's the power that these folks wield. And hey, the attorney general is kind of like, nope, we're not doing that. I don't know how else you don't prosecute something that's right there. It's like, hey, how do you not see what's going on here?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's got to be it. And that's, you know, look at the Epstein stuff and Pam Bondi not doing a damn thing. Who's going to prosecute her? Who's going to say that? That's what we always talk about, this monopoly on violence. But
yeah, I don't know. We are in for a hell of a ride coming up over the next year. I mean, we're going to go into these midterm elections, and these statewide races are going to be cutthroat, and you've got no longer Tim Walz running for the governor seat, right? Odds are it's going to be Amy Klobuchar running for governor, and then we've got 12 GOP candidates running for governor. They can't get their shit together. It's absolutely insane. And for me to be in the mix for state auditor is, I looked at the GOP and I'm like, there's no way. You guys, they're just not, they're not there.
Hey,
yes, thanks for the plug. Go ahead, TG.
No, I really want folks to see what you have laid out. I don't know, and I know this is, you know, on-air production meeting of what I've
Sure.
seen that you've done, Charlie, is extremely impressive, and I think there are enough nerds out there that can look at that and don't even have to be that much of a nerd to see everything you've laid out. And this is very practical on what things need to be, and it's simple to where we're cutting the spending, we're tracking what we're doing, and knowing where these dollars are going. I think somebody had this figured out by now.
Here's the problem. I don't blame. Well, to a certain degree, I blame Julie Blaha, but to her credit, she's not a savvy technology person. She's not a developer. Technology's moved so far in the past 10 years that I couldn't imagine her staying on pace with that. There's no way for anybody to do that. Unless you're in it every day, and unless you're tracking things. And let's just face it, 8 years of her in office has been not kind to Minnesota. My plan to change the way that we track and monitor funds at the municipal level, the very local levels of our counties, our cities, our townships, our school districts, and even special districts, is through, I mean, it's 15 years of me doing data engineering and building data warehouses that gives me that, that background. So I wouldn't expect her as a school teacher to be up on that stuff. And I wouldn't expect, I would expect some candidates on the major party side to have that kind of background, and they don't.
What I think it is, and I think even a lot of these folks think the state auditor is the legislative auditor. That is actually the person that should be looking up this fraud stuff, or is fairly responsible for that.
So the fraud that's being talked about right now is under the purview of the Office of Legislative Auditor, and not necessarily the state auditor's office. Now you've got people on both sides that are saying we need to expand the scope of the Office of State Auditor, but I think we just need to do better. I think we need to break this down to a very basic level, and everybody has to have the ability to be able to audit their own municipality. It doesn't come down to one
That's-
centralized authority to basically say, oh, whatever we recommend goes. No, that's not the way that we do things, right? So if we're going to say I don't plan on, there's people in the Office of State Auditor that do the auditing process. I need to deliver a vision of complete transparency, which has been lacking at that office for the past 20 years, right? So we passed some things where we said, oh, you have to fill these reports out, and you have to produce reports on an annual basis, and they come through in a PDF format, and you've got to sift through 400 pages of aggregated data, and it's absolutely atrocious. We don't do that anymore. The companies don't do that anymore, right? We've embraced technology to the point where we can do near real-time streaming of these processes, of these transactions, and we should have that availability at our fingertips. Like, you should be able to go out to the Office of State Auditor's website and pull down any transaction that you want from your city, your township, your county, your school district, and bring it directly to them and ask them what happened with this transaction, who approved it, what is it going to, what fund did it come from, and all of that information should be completely available, rather than having a journalist fight for 2 years to come up with some information, and then they produce a story and it gets 15 minutes of fame and blah blah blah, and everybody moves on, right?
It moves on. It keeps going.
That process doesn't work anymore. It worked, and it gains traction, and people get emotional about it. I don't want our Minnesota transactions, like the finance, to be an emotional struggle. It shouldn't be. It should be completely transparent, and the people at the local level should be able to bring that straight to their city council members and challenge them on it. And then when they don't agree with the rationale, hey, they should collaborate and start to vote those people out. Vote the people in who are going to spend the money the way that you want them to. And now that if we build this over the next couple years, now it's going to be a battle. The bureaucratic process is going to fight me on it tooth and nail. They're not going to want this. The GOP is not going to want it. The DFL is not going to want it. Right. So I'm going to be battling the whole bureaucracy across the state. And I'm not looking forward to that fight. But at the same time, you can't argue against transparency. I just don't see, I don't know how you can rationally do that.
No, I think folks are ready. Folks are really fed up with paying their taxes and watching it get, flushed away. Whether it's locally or federally or through the state, whatever, they're all tired of paying taxes, which it's fine that finally people are getting on the bandwagon.
I agree.
I don't know if you guys seen any of the tax revolt.
No.
Let
me plug this real quick. Yeah. If people are watching on this stream, I think we've got quite a few people here. Go out to my website, kuklensformn.com. TJ, can you throw that back up there?
Yeah, I'm on it.
kuklensformn.com. There's, at the bottom of my website, there is a pledge for endorsement, right? Basically, in order to get on the ballot as a third party in the state of Minnesota, we need to collect 2,000 signatures for a statewide race. What I'm doing is I'm trying to build up at least a list of at least 5,000 people that have pledged their endorsement to sign the petition and at least get me on the ballot. That's all I'm asking for. I'll campaign after that, right? But we've got basically until the last week of May to build up a list of 5,000 people, and then 2 weeks to gain 2,000 signatures over the filing period. So,
do you have a sign-up method on that website?
Yeah, so there's a form. If you go down to the bottom, it says, what is it?
Do you go on
There's an endorsement form.
I'm actually.
Can I share?
Yeah, can you? Because I can.
Oh, I can share screen. What screen do I want to share? This one. Right. So here's my website. I know it's very basic. I'm a data nerd. I'm not a marketing person. So can you guys see it?
There we
Yeah.
go.
All right. So I'm not a marketing person. Yeah. It's kind of basic. But if you scroll all the way down to here, there's sign endorsement, right? So there's a little sign endorsement, and it'll pull you to this page here for the endorsement pledge. Fill that out, and it will add you to my system, so I can send communication out. And basically, what we're trying to do is coordinate the signature process across the state. So
Heck
I'm going to be
yeah,
going
dude.
live. I'm going to be going live on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm trying to build this up just so we can get enough people to sign and gain those signatures. It's a long drawn out process that we've been fighting for years to get people on a statewide campaign. So anybody in Minnesota who is listening to this, feel free to go out to my website, fill this out, and we'll get you the information that you need. So I appreciate it.
Heck yeah, man. That is sweet. You need to teach me that. I want the same thing. I
Yeah.
wish I knew how to do that. Now you got to stop sharing your screen. I don't know how to kick you
I'll
out.
stop sharing.
High tech.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had the ICE. I mean, I think we could probably talk about that for a while. But what also happened recently is President Trump decided to kidnap Maduro.
Absolutely.
He just went on in there and kidnapped
Oh,
him.
conspiracy theories abound with this one.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I just heard something about how Maduro has the dirt on the 2020 election or something like that, and people.
oh,
Dude,
yeah,
I'm
that's
telling you, conspiracy theories are just running
my God.
rampant right now.
I had
Right,
heard
that's what-
it was actually a rescue mission one. I hadn't heard the exactly about the 2020 elections still.
Well, that's the other thing I'd heard is like Maduro was losing support of his regime, and so they were going to oust him anyway. And so,
Okay, so-
US just blew up a couple
he
of
cuts a deal, right? I just
to like bring him home.
Things are crazy right now.
Well, so he's already been like arraigned or something, right? He already seen a judge for the drug trafficking and then some guns.
What was that? Southern District of New York.
Yeah, same one. As Diddy.
Famously, a very uncorrupt courtroom.
But they're not even going to reconvene until May now.
Well, yeah, I mean they already did what they wanted to.
Yep.
Now they wait until it's out of the headlines and then do whatever.
They've stolen the optics, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's
so
just a crazy
President Trump
there.
says. I thought it was pretty interesting when he was just like, "Oh, we're going to run the country now," and how? That
Marco Rubio, man.
Yeah. You know, it is really amazing the people that he's surrounded himself with lately, or this time, this administration, all the folks that were like the never Trumpers. And I don't know if you listen to Dave Smith, but he says this every time he talks about it. Like it's just crazy how all these folks that were not supporting him. Anyways, I don't like talking about that. The guy himself, you know, but what he's doing, you know, folks on one side are saying, well, yeah, look at the guy was a evil dictator. It's like, and then, so like, is that you talked to him a year ago. It's not our job to be the world police. It's not, you know, we're not supposed to be doing that. That's not what it's unconstitutional. And now, nope. It's good that we have access to all that oil. Do you want China to have that oil, or I don't know? It drives me nuts listening to folks make excuses.
I'll tell you what, this is like, it's going to be years in the making to figure out whether this was a correct move or not. And we can speculate as to how everything is going to evolve. Like at first you see people in Venezuela that are cheering, and now I've seen reports that Maduro's regime is still in power anyway. And
well, I mean, it was his, I'm assuming, hand-chosen vice president who is now the interim president of Venezuela. So,
Yeah.
it's
oh really?
Yeah. Assumed office on January 3rd, so the same day that the kidnapping happened.
There's some reports saying that she's the one that, pretty much colluded with the U.S.
The U.S. now hosts her boss. I don't know.
I mean, something happened where it was too easy. Oh, the precise strike. It was so great. The greatest ever.
I also kind of don't buy that the Venezuelan military would have been able to stop it if they had tried. So
stop something. I think they would have had. Who knows? Our guys are that good. I don't know. And I don't believe anything that I see coming from videos like, oh, they're liberated, oh no, they're protesting, oh, there's emergency protests in Sweden, and I don't know, it's all a show.
Yeah, that morning I saw ABC footage of, oh, look at these look at these people in the streets celebrating, and they were waving Venezuelan flags as a bunch of tour buses drove down that road, and I was very confused as to why there were tour buses there. And then I doubled back and I looked at the expressions on the faces of the people standing there, and they sort of had expressions on their faces that remind me of when I've been standing in line a little bit too long waiting for a bus to go home from the state fair. Like, they didn't look like they were super overjoyed or anything. They looked like they were kind of tired of standing there.
Interesting.
And when the camera's on you, you're supposed to look enthusiastic, right? That's what the CIA paid them to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I commented on that somewhere, and somebody told me, "Oh, well, my wife is Venezuelan, and they're all super enthusiastic." And I'm like, "Sure, whatever. I don't care." It's anecdote after anecdote.
Right. It really is. That's exactly what it is. Anecdote, because ultimately, under what authority? I guess, and to think of, where does it stop then? Isn't this just what you read history books about?
It is.
What
it is.
What was Hitler doing? What was, what is Putin about to do? At least what people think. So,
well, yeah, I mean,
WTF.
Well, is Russia pulled people out of their embassy in Israel, right? On like there were 3 flights today that left the whole Russian embassy. Iran is, remember when we had a conversation about Iran back when Trump bombed Iran about 3 or 4 months ago.
The president of the yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do.
And so it looks like there's like a civil uprising in Iran, and people are gonna try and gain power there. So that's another situation that's kind of for lack of a better term, blowing up.
Color revolution. There's books written about all those color revolutions too.
Yeah, we're like
same freaking playbook.
I don't think people understand where these are going to be historical references. In 20 years, we're going to look back, if we're still here, God willing. 20 years, look back
in the history too.
That's exactly where I was going with it. Is like history is going to be rewritten, and we've got to maintain our current perspective and understand the situations that are going on. And it's tough for people to have a complete view of 360 view of everything. But I will say, I've kind of demonized. I know we're sitting on a live stream right now, and I've demonized technology and social media, but at the same time, it's allowed us to have so many different perspectives and gain at least a little bit of understanding of where different people are coming from. And I think if we continue to maintain that point of view, is like, look, I know I don't have all the information, but I what I've seen in the dominant narrative, we always have to question, right? Because we just can't take it for granted anymore. There's just no way to. And so, I mean, I appreciate the spread of information for that, and social media has been one of the biggest proponents of being able to see different perspectives. So
it's also
it's
been quite a proponent. You know, when the censorship comes in, you can see it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when one platform isn't censored and another is, like, oh,
or
guess I gotta
skewed,
go.
or you know,
And
Yeah.
you know, these echo chambers form, which, you know, I'm not going to deny that I'm in my own echo chamber, I'm sure. But as
Sure.
far as, you know, I try my best to stay informed and see how other folks are being informed as well, just to try and understand why someone would do what they do when they do it. You know, as far as murder this woman in a car that is clearly not endangering that man, or, you know, steal taxpayer money. Why do the people do this? I don't know. They wake up in the morning and they think they're a good person. I really do think they are a good person. They think either they deserve this stuff or they're meant to do this thing. I don't know.
It's ripe for the taking, right?
Yeah. Well, and you know, folks would tell libertarians that we're the selfish ones, that we do what we want, you know, but we're the ones that talk peace. And really, the folks just don't understand. I hate saying that. Folks don't understand. I don't understand the folks. That's what I'm trying to say, is I don't understand the folks. That's really what it
Fair.
is.
That's fair. No,
Yeah.
I think if we can treat, if we can treat others with at least the best perspective, right? The best intentions. I know so many. We disagree on politics. We disagree on, socialism versus capitalism. We disagree on economic policy. We disagree on a lot of things. But I know that a lot of the people that I'm friends with are coming at their conversation from a heartfelt perspective. And it sucks because it's like, you start to read history, and I will say, how do you fight for socialism when it's never worked, right? Like, how do you sit there and say, oh, this is going to be great, and it never has been. And I'm not going to say that we're living in the best society that we can possibly muster, but at the same time, like, losing individualism and losing freedom is something to fight for, right? Like, we can't let that happen again. It's happened throughout
frigid,
time. What's that?
frigid individualism. That's what that Mayor Mondami just, this is taking a lot of people.
Demonized individualism. We're gonna
Frigid.
wipe out individualism, and we're gonna have a kumbaya moment. Okay, have you guys watched? There's a show. I had this. I'm gonna go off topic. There's a show on Apple TV right now. It's called Pluribus.
I watched it.
It's called
I
Pluribus.
haven't. I don't have that, but I've heard a lot about it.
Okay. Watch this show.
I don't know how I'm going to get Apple TV. I'm not going to pay for it just for the one show.
I don't want to spoil it, I don't
No,
want.
I've
I don't
heard
want
you
to be a
can't. I heard
spoiler.
you can't say anything about it because it's just that weird.
You can't because, but when you like, I think eight or 9 episodes in already, right? When you get to these episodes that are happening right now, like something in my mind kind of shifted, and I was like, oh shit, okay, this is the end
That's
game.
exactly what they
So,
wanted you to think.
It's like whoever thought of this show was like, hey, I played this scenario out to its logical end, and this is where they came to, and it's frightening.
I
To
love
a-
creative writers, man.
it's
It's really interesting how some of these folks can do that.
and I urge you to stick it out. I urge you to stick it out because the first couple
Hey.
episodes are like, I can take it or leave it. It's neither here nor there. And I wasn't into it until, like, I didn't watch it over Christmas, like the 2 weeks that I was off for Christmas, and then I had two or three episodes to catch up on, and I watched them in sequence, and I'm like, oh man, okay. I just urge you, if you can get Apple TV and watch Pluribus, it's fascinating.
Console.
Oh, now you just spoiled it, Joey. Good, great.
No, I am not one to buy into additional streaming services, is all I'm saying.
That's fair.
No, I'm really trying to cut as much as I can. You know what I mean?
I'm not opposed to a torrent site, publishing it either. So, is what it is.
The libertarian.
If you want
have,
torrent,
have you seen these super boxes?
What's that?
Yeah, well, this thing's called the super box. It's a little blue box that you hook up to your internet, and it catches like streams every single, and you can just buy it from Walmart. I googled it. I'm like, well, this doesn't seem legal. Obviously, I don't give a shit, but like, it doesn't seem legal. And it says, well, the box is legal, but what you're doing, people sharing the stuff is not. Just like the whole Napster thing.
That's fair.
So.
All right,
We could have
and
a whole
I
hour
apologize. I apologize to our viewers for pushing off onto a media entertainment shtick, but it kind of is relevant to the economic.
We got Joey give us the intellectual property spiel.
Oh, IP is fake news. Yeah, I didn't have anything prepared, but I think that intellectual property is a faulty premise.
Yeah, I agree. You and I have talked about this before, and it's a tough one for artists, to swallow for sure. I get it. As far as, hey, I worked hard for this, I should get paid, and I don't disagree. You work hard for your work. It's just
the system that corporations have come up with and had the U.S. government enforce for them does not work.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, it needs to evolve. It needs to evolve.
Or get broken somehow and fixed somehow better. That it's really Pollyanna or whatever to think that's hey, we can just do this and then do this. Just like, oh, we're just going to remove Maduro and everything's going to be just fine there, just because I understand that stuff doesn't happen that way, but I don't know what that comment was. Russian.
What's comment?
Yeah, don't pull it up.
I'm not gonna.
Other news: the minimum wage went up in Minnesota.
Did it?
They've got an inflation adjustment clause now, so the Minnesota minimum wage is now $11.41 an hour, with a lower rate for like training or whatever that also went up.
Interesting.
I don't like price floors or price ceilings. I will say I don't think that this is. I don't know that $11.41 an hour is materially affecting unemployment in Minnesota. I know that that's like not exactly the libertarian take. Is like every penny that you cap is reducing employment. I don't know. I mean, I it's hard for me to find jobs in my neck of the woods, full stop. When I see ads, they're all for $21 an hour. I don't know if that's real. I don't know if that's fake. I don't know if they hire for those positions at that rate. What I do know is I'm not seeing 11.41 an hour on those signs.
I totally agree. I've thought of this same thing. Like, what, you know, the market is where the minimum wage is, right? Where minimum wage is zero, but whatever the market is going to say is where. And if you, hey, the Democrats got this win to have this minimum wage, and we put it right here. Okay, I guess it's good for you. I got, it really doesn't seem to have any difference on, like you said, the unemployment or the employment. Now, yeah, you try to think of what kind of jobs. Man, when I mowed lawns as a kid, it was cash under the table and nobody would give a shit. Like, who would right now? I wonder. Or would some kid say, no, minimum wage, state law says. And I'd say, I'll find another kid to mow my lawn. Right? That's how the kid's going to learn that minimum wage means nothing. That's how I feel like it. Like, who does work for that minimum wage?
We've covered how many topics in
46 minutes.
46 minutes. There's so much going on in Minnesota. It's
well, we talk about the paid family leave too that just kicked in this year?
That's the other thing.
I mean, that one, I've got the thing pasted up in my cubicle here as far as the dollars. I think we did talk about it last time because it's coming into effect, and it just blows my mind. And
we've already had, what is it, like 12,000 people have pre-registered for paid family leave already signed up. So I can't remember. I don't think I was paying attention when they anticipated the number of people that would sign up the first year, but I can't imagine it was 12,000. Maybe it was. I don't know what they allotted or what they budgeted for, but that sounds like a lot to me.
When you forcibly take money out of somebody's check, every single one of those people think they deserve this damn benefit. All right. So
I agree.
To talk about Social Security, that's money I paid into it. No, you're not wrong. You totally paid into it, but there's no money there.
But I sit here and I know it doesn't look like it, but I went and got my hair cut today, and sitting in the chair. My barber is a solopreneur, right? He doesn't have any other, he's got chairs in his studio, but he doesn't have any other employees. It's just him and his son. And he was like, well, dude, why do I have to pay for paid family leave? Because if I take leave from my business, it shuts down, right? Like, it doesn't.
But then the state could pay him, so he could take a paid vacation with
So they could pay him with his own dollars.
Well, of course, but that's exactly the point.
Business paid
no, hold on. The state does not pay with your own dollars. It's not like you get what you paid into it. They have a set base of what you receive, and it comes out of their big pile of
that
whatever
they
they're
took
collecting
from your tax dollars. So
Yeah.
it is actually your money, just not properly.
It's everybody's money. It's our
portioned
money.
evenly. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just nuts.
No, I totally agree. Very nuts. The math doesn't even add up. Like, if they're going to take $400 a year out of my paycheck, but willing to pay me $1,400 a week for up to 20 weeks every year.
Yeah. Walls is running scared.
Oh man. Hey, that's another one. So yeah, let's talk about that. So that day,
Monday.
I thought of it
Monday.
right away, and then a few people said it, but this is the first thing I thought of because Klobuchar right away said,
Yeah.
that she's going to run. And I thought, oh boy, this would be as dumb as the world is that she'll get elected because Minnesotans love her. And then,
Absolutely.
someone did comment on when I did say this, though, that Minnesota law has a special election. Most of those seats that are vacated like that are appointed by the governor.
They are.
But then if it was that senator that gets that governor seat, then she puts her own
appoints the
replacement.
now former governor to fill her vacant seat until a special election can be called, or until the next election. So
I don't think it's even a special election. I think it's just till that seat is up.
Yeah, I think it's an appointment.
Okay. Yep. And I will say this, like I don't think it would be the best for the DFL to put Walz in that seat. I think if something happens, like here's the thing, if whatever happens, Klobuchar runs for governor and she wins, I don't know, like the way things are looking between the Flanagan race and whether you want to support Adam Schwarzy or Royce White or was it Tom Weiler, or even now I think who's the former sports analyst, on-field analyst, what's her name?
Michelle Tafoya.
Michelle Tafoya, right? There was talk about
Did
Tafoya.
You say the pillow guy? I didn't hear.
No, but he's running for governor. All right. So this is the U.S. Senate race, right? This is the U.S. Senate race. If Flanagan wins that race, and I'm just speculating here, again, this is just complete, my mind racing. But if Flanagan wins that race, right, you're going to have two options. You could put Walz in that seat that was Klobuchar's seat, or you put Angie Craig in that seat, right? Because Angie Craig, like, if she says, well, like Flanagan is ahead or wins the endorsement, then she can fill that seat as a U.S. senator anyway when Klobuchar wins, and everything is hunky-dory for the DFL.
It just would turn everything upside down if she did that. It would be funny. But I can see Klobuchar totally running away with the governor race. I don't know why Minnesotans love her so much. It blows my mind every year when I see stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be an interesting year, to say the least.
No, I'm looking forward to campaigning with you, Charlie. And I also have a website, and so you can check out my campaign at tjforliberty.com. And I do need to work on my website a little bit. It's updated it here and there, but I really want to get that. I want to get a petition like you've got there and get a form.
Oh yeah, we can set it up. Set it up.
Here's the thing, Charlie, like I was saying, and this is for everybody else to know, that we want to have a lot of people ready to sign these petitions in that, because we only get the 2 weeks. So we have 2 weeks to get all these signatures done. So it's like a mark it on your calendar that, hey, on this day of May, I'm going to go meet with Charlie somewhere and sign his petition. Me too, but mine is only in my little district. But everybody in the state of Minnesota can sign Charlie's petition.
Absolutely. And so what I'm planning to do,
5 million people signing a petition, Charlie.
What I'm planning to do essentially is, hopefully, if people are willing to volunteer within a county, right, and say, hey, we're gonna send communication out that you can go to a specific location within the county. I don't care if it's at a bar, right? You could stop by the bar on your way home, sign a petition, and have a beer with whoever's in your county most of my volunteer. Right.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying is, like, hey, centralized location to say, some of these counties that are outstate, that hey, drive by the local watering hole and sign a petition. But hopefully get some volunteers out there to sit on the first Saturday that the filing period opens for 4 hours, and we'll direct traffic to them. But it comes from the first part is building that list of people who are pledging their endorsement signature, and then maintaining that communication going out. So one of the things that I do have on there is your address. So please fill out your address so we can coordinate a centralized location for you to be able to sign the petition, and we can get those signatures in. That's really the first hurdle to these races as a third party is gaining those signatures. And yeah, we can do fundraising and we can get donorship to pay for people to go knock doors. But man, if we can mobilize a social effort to just sign the signatures, and that frees up most of the donations for campaign season, right? Just to go campaigning. And eventually what I'm hoping to do is at least like I'm theoretically already in this seat as the state auditor, right? In my mind, I'm already sitting at the state auditor's office and saying, look, I'm going to let's do live trainings for people to be able to talk about what's happening in their location, right? To start to say, dude, anybody in, Ely, Minnesota can talk about Ely on their social media and say, these are the transactions that are going through, and these are the people that are processing them. And let's have a conversation at a local level about what's happening. Because really what it comes down to is people getting active civically in their local municipalities, in their townships, their city councils, and their county boards and their school districts, to be able to affect the way that money is flowing to the top of this state, and the people in the executive offices that have zero regard for what they're tarnishing going forward. They have no outlook over the next 10 years. It's absolutely drastic in my opinion. And so if we want to have a secure future, the best way to do it is through that local processing, and basically saying, look, we're going to stop this funneling of funds up to and through these organizations that are completely supporting the DFL. That's just they built it. They built it over years and years, decades of power, right? Political power. Actually, well, what we had, the GOP had all the way up until 2008 or something like that. I don't know.
Depends on
2006.
who you talk to. It's democracy.
Well,
man.
that's the other thing
Bound
is
to
like,
fail.
so I don't know, man. It's gonna be
hey,
a fun year, and let's make some waves.
Yeah, Joey, when is the convention? March.
The convention is the last weekend in March.
Yeah. Owatonna.
Yeah, in Owatonna, Minnesota, the LPMN is having its convention Friday the 27th through Sunday the 29th. Business on just Saturday and Sunday. Friday is kind of a fun day.
And you can still get early bird price on tickets until the 15th. Is that?
Yep, it's coming up soon here. So if you want to go to the convention, get your tickets fast. They go fast. Starting on the 14th, they go fast. People really love waiting until the last minute to get their discounts. But hey,
I being one of those people.
Hey, buy your tickets, sir. Buy yours.
I'm set. I will be there, and we're gonna have a blast. I can't wait.
Awesome.
All right, y'all. Anything else you guys want to add?
This podcast has been brought to you by the Libertarian Party of Minnesota. If you would like to join the Libertarian Party of Minnesota, lpmn.org/become a member, or lpmn.org, and just click the little join button in the top right.
Do the best.
Yeah, I'm
going
to
to
plug
Joey.
social media. I'm going to plug social media on my campaign. So follow me, like Facebook, Charles Kuklins. You can. I mean, my last name is pretty distinct. There's not very many people with it, so just look up Kuklins. SQL Corman on Twitter or X. You could probably find me on YouTube as well. Just look up Kuklins, and I'll be there. Yeah. Hopefully get TikTok going. I got to get TikTok going.
Yeah, same. I'm going to do that this weekend with my son, actually. That's what I'm going to do, is see if he can help me work.
Oh, my name on TikTok is Dockuch. Now,
Ooh, that was
pronounced
whoa.
it's pronounced Doc Cooch,
Yeah.
right? But it comes from my time as a hospital corpsman, right? Like nobody could say my last name. So, as a corpsman, you're always called Doc anyway, but nobody could pronounce my last name. So it just turned into Doc Cooch and it stuck. So sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, y'all. Peace.